Hey y'all, I'm back. So today I'm actually going to do a full face for you. I'm going to do something a little bit more on the natural side, something that you can wear on an everyday basis since we're definitely way into spring and in our way to summer. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my eyes. I always tend to start with my eyes just because if you tend to have any fallout or anything like that, it's easier to clean up underneath and you won't have any castiness underneath your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Benefit Stay Don't Stray eye primer. I really like this particular formulation because it helps to really matte down a lot of my oil production on my eyelid, and it also tends to really smooth out the coloring of my eyelid a little bit more since I tend to have a little bit more darkness through my lid. So it tends to really even out everything and get that nice clean canvas for my shadows. So the eyeshadows that I'll be using today are the Full Exposure Smashbox shadows. So they tend to be a little bit more on the natural side. So you have a row of shimmers and a row of mattes down below, all in a neutral range. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a nice flat cream blush. It's a little poofy at the end. I'm going to start with the lightest color in our collection, which is that nice porcelain color. So I'm going to go in with this color and I'm going to tap this all along my lash line and my eyelid. Just like that. And I'm just going to take a little bit more and just run that right underneath my brow bone. Then I'll take so for a professional brush, this is a crease brush, so it's just a nice tapered brush. I'm going to dip that into a little bit of a lighter color. Maybe this guy right through here, that taupey color. And I'll run that just straight through my crease. Picking up a little bit more. And just running that right through the eye socket. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the darker color in this, right through there. Just tap a little tiny bit through the outside portion of my crease. We're going to finish off with using just a little bit of the shimmery color right above the original color that we ended up using. I'm just going to tap a little bit of this through the underside of my brow just to add a little bit more sheen, just a little bit more light, just to give a touch more light. I'm just going to run a little bit of that just through the inside corner of the eye. I also like to smoke out the eyeliner just a little bit more, so I'm going to go in with that same brown shade and just with a small smudge brush go in and just push that right through the lash line. Right underneath the lash line towards the outside corner of your eye. Alright, so now that you have your eyes done, I'm just going to go ahead and perfect a little bit of the complexion a little bit more. So since we're not going for a super full coverage or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and use the Smashbox CC Cream. It's an SPF 30. This particular color is a medium, but obviously definitely use the color that's pertaining to your skin shade. So I just like to use a little bit on my hands, and I actually like to apply this with my fingers tips. So I'm just going to go in and warm up the product with my hands and just go in and slightly press. and stipple this throughout. Just a tiny little bit more. And then wherever I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, I'm going to just go in and just tap in those areas. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and perfect just a little bit more using my concealer. This is the Balm Concealer. And with my concealer airbrush brush, I'm just going to go in and hit the areas where I need a little bit more help. Like underneath my eyes a little bit. And I'm using this concealer to also clean up the outside of my eyeshadow that we just did. And then just those areas where it needs a little bit more coverage, a little bit more love. Just gradually building my coverage until it's completely gone. So our last step of our complexion is we're going to go ahead and set everything. I'm going to go ahead and use the Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to tap just a tiny little bit on my cap. Just using a nice big blush or powder brush. And now that we have pretty much everything set, I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and use the Urban Decay eyeliner in Corrupt. This is just a nice sparkly dark brown color. I'm just going to go ahead and just through my lash line run that pencil. You don't have to be super clean about it because we're just going to go in and smudge it out. We're going to go ahead and use that same smudge pencil that we were using for the shadow and just run the brush over that pencil and the powder. And then once you get to the outside corner of your eye, we're just going to go in and just lift a tiny little bit. Just lift it. And that almost kind of creates that smoky ombre effect. Just make sure we have everything nicely blended through. And then whatever's left over on my brush, I'm just going to run through the bottom portion of my lash. So to finish my eye look off, I'm just going to go ahead and run a little bit of mascara through my lashes. And this is the Guerlain Cils Definer in black. Alright, so now that we have our eyes and our complexion done, we're going to go ahead and move along to eyebrows. So just perfecting the eyebrows just a little bit more. Just get them a little bit more on point. So I need to do a few strokes just right. Just remember your brows are meant to be sisters, not twins, so if they don't look exactly the same on both sides, that's fine, just as long as they're somewhat even. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of blush and highlighter and some bronzer just to warm up the overall complexion a little bit. And I'm going to use the Makeup Designery Blush Brush in number 710. So I'm actually going to start with a little bit of the bronzer right over here. And what I'm using is the Naked Urban Decay Flushed Palette. Just a little bit of bronzer through my temple and my hairline. Just add a little bit of this blush here through the apple of my cheek. And just finishing off the look with a little bit of a highlighter, just right above my cheekbone. This brush that I'm using is actually a new Sephora brush. It's number 58, the Pro Full Coverage Airbrush. So you can use it for foundation, you can use it for highlight, you can use it for whatever it works for you. You can see that nice highlight. I'm actually just going to add a little bit just right above my eyebrow on both sides here, just to give me a nice glow. Cupid's bow. Bridge of my nose. And I'm just going to end up with a little bit more of a natural lip, something a little bit on the brighter side, just to kind of add a little bit more pop to whatever it is that we're going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a nice natural lip liner. This is the Glossy liner from Dior in Glossy Brown. Always starting from the outside, working your way in. Or what I like to do is start from the corner and then go in and do that Cupid's bow. You want to make sure that you're starting from the outside so you're not cheating yourself on your lip. And I'm just going to go in and fill the outside corner and towards the center of the lip. And to finish it all off, I'm going to add this really nice pop of color from Smashbox. It's the Smashbox Gloss in Beauty. And there you have it, the whole completed look. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe and like. Adios.